What's up, people? In this video we are going to do something that Angelo Carrion suggested. Didn't say what it was, but like the obedient little soldier that I am, I will do whatever people tell me to. So here we go. Not sure what this is. Hopefully it's not terrible, or like an hour.
Jimmy Moore just posted.
Is this what's his face? Vegetable Place? 11 years on ketogenic diet. Jimmy Moore's shocking blood test results. I mean, homie looks like shit. I'm sure, like, before we get into this, I know this is Vegetable Police. I know, pretty sure where this is going. Keto's stupid. Jimmy Moore, dog, you look like fucking ass. No offense, sorry, but like, I mean, you show me a guy like this, I don't need a blood test to know that he's fucking not like that healthy. Anyway, I will do this because I like Vegetable Police, and thank God the video is only 10 minutes. Okay, so if you guys have any other, recommendations for videos or YouTubers, let me know. Leave me a comment.
Posted his blood test results. Let's look at his blood. This video is a warning to anybody who's thinking about trying a low-carb diet to lose weight. This man has been eating low-carb for over 11 years, and not only is he still overweight, but his blood tests have more alarm bells than a schoolyard at lunchtime. If you've never heard of Jimmy Moore, he's a very popular blogger in the low-carb community. He has a podcast called Livin' La Vida Low Carb. Clever name, my friend. He once weighed 410 pounds, lost about 180 of those pounds on the Atkins diet, where he basically ate meat and cheese and never pooed again. After losing the weight, he started to tell the world about how great his diet was, but he gained most of that weight back. And to this day, he's still struggling with his weight, but more importantly, his health is not looking good at all. I'm not looking to bash Jimmy Moore here. He's probably a great guy, friendly. I just think he fell into the wrong diet crowd, and now he's stuck there. After building his brand on low carb, it's like he has no other choice but to continue promoting that diet, even though it's harming him. So let's start off by looking at what Jimmy eats.
That's a good point, and that's something I think that's rarely addressed in the fitness world, which is that if you build your brand around a certain ideology or protocol, it's very hard to change anything later because you've got so much either content or products or what's it called, like books and stuff out there, that it's so hard to like backtrack and be like, well, actually I made a mistake about this one thing. It's really actually this way. You know what I mean? It's hard to do that because you take money out of your own pocket. Keto in general is retarded. Like I always say, like, eat a lot of meat, eat a lot of eggs, eat 90% of your calories from meat and eggs. The other 10% should be carbs, right? I will never tell anybody low carb. I will never ever in my life say go keto. I think it's fucking retarded. And the reason for that is because I pretty much expect people to like be exercising. This Jimmy guy, like, has he seen the inside of a gym like ever? Does he know what a gym looks like? It doesn't seem like it, right? That I don't understand how. I mean, just a casual glance like at your diet here: 3 sausage patties, 3 tablespoons grass-fed butter, 3 eggs. So that's not so bad. Well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meals a day. Yeah, so I also recommend, 1 meal a day. Obviously, it's like if you've watched any of my other videos lately, you know that I say like a million times. This in and of itself, these are not like, at least sausage patty, that sounds like processed shit to me. Like, homie, why don't you just eat some fucking meat? But yeah, like a sausage patty is not meat. Okay, a sausage patty is like ground up like shit, basically, like preservatives and nitrates and all kinds of trash food. Like here he had a 5-ounce sirloin steak. That's good. I don't know what spaghetti squash is. I'm sure he'll go over all this stuff in a minute. But like this in and of itself is not bad, but you do need carbs. You know what I mean? Like you need carbs because you should be working out, and you can't really work out that hard without carbs. In my opinion, I've never been able to do it. But then again, I've never gotten past like day 3 on keto.
In a day. This is a 3-day menu that he posted. He eats 2 meals a day, and they're huge.
Oh, these are 2 meals. Okay, so this is 3 days worth of meals. All right, so 2 meals a day. I guess that's not so bad, but
here's his breakfast: sausages, bone broth, butter with eggs, some leafy greens, thank baby Jesus, cheese, some tomato sauce, cream, chocolate, a bottle of kombucha. My God, that is a big breakfast. You can see that he doesn't eat again until 7 p.m., 8 hours later. No shit, that's how long that meal takes to leave his stomach. So much grease in that meal, it's disgusting. I mean, his dinner is just a bag of Quest protein chips every night with cheese and chocolate. That man is half dairy. Let's see what it's doing to his body. Keep in mind that Jimmy Moore has been eating a ketogenic diet for the last 11 years. So first up is his cortisol levels. You can see his numbers are low. The adrenal glands produce the cortisol. Cortisol has many functions in the...
So, like, before we even get into this, like, honestly, all of this is meaningless to me. They could be good, they could be bad. Like, you look at the person and you determine if that person looks healthy. That's the simplest, easiest way to do it without getting a blood test. Like, hello. That's number one. Number two, you can put them through some sort of athletic test, which Jimmy, sorry dog, like, doesn't look like you're going to do very well on that. And that's to kind of see if they can actually perform. Stuff like this, I guess it kind of can be masked with, like, let's say some guys like on steroids or something, and like he looks really good. But overall, it's like shortening his lifespan, so probably not good. But I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case with Jimmy here. But like I said, you know, a blood test could be good if you are somehow able to mask the two tests that I mentioned earlier, like how do you look and how do you perform, right? And by mask, I mean essentially like artificially perform better. For example, like you take steroids, right? If you take steroids, you're going to look better and you're going to perform better. But there's some stuff that might be going on under the hood that, you know, is not, should not be like that, because it's like, you know, steroids like too good to be true. So, I mean, okay, like, all right, let's just see what he says about this anyway.
In the body, but one of those functions is to fight inflammation. Animal products produce inflammation in the body, so it's not a surprise to see that his adrenal glands are fatigued, they're exhausted after fighting this inflammation for like 11 years. You can see in his functional adrenal stress profile test here that his results are low, especially his post-menopausal numbers. Jimmy, how could you? One thing that stands out is how high his melatonin is. Our pineal gland produces the melatonin at night in order to fall asleep, so some people supplement melatonin to help them fall asleep. This really just weakens your pineal gland in the end, so it's a terrible idea. Carbohydrate-rich foods help increase the availability of melatonin, so it's no shock that Jimmy on his low-carb diet is having trouble sleeping. In general, it's just a bad idea to supplement any hormone your body produces naturally. You want to strengthen your glands instead with berries and various herbs. Don't take the hormones. Okay, moving on. For someone who eats...
So, it's interesting to watch a vegetable police video from so long ago, because he's this is like the old vegetable police, like the vegan debater, let's call him, right? It's interesting because I haven't seen too many of these videos. The ones that I've seen have been in the past like maybe a year or two. But what you'll notice is that like all of these arguments are like based on studies or based on science, right? It's not based on actually like what you try and how you feel. Which, you know, like I always say, science is a good starting point. But this is not going to tell me how well you perform, you know, running a mile, how fast you run a mile. This is not going to tell me what you look like, you know what I mean? Which are two arguably like the most important things. Like, who cares about all this shit, right? Yeah.
Such a low-carb diet. I was surprised to see his glucose so high.
Oh, sorry. Also about the sleep, right? I don't think there's anything bad with taking melatonin. I think it's like very mild. It definitely helps you sleep. It is a hormone technically, and it is illegal in some countries. But, you know, I mean, I've taken it many times for an extended period of time. It helps you sleep like a little bit deeper. We barely notice it, honestly. I was taking like 10 milligrams a night, which is an extremely high dose. In terms of like a high-fat diet, like, so like, why do I keep my recommendations simple? Because they don't need to be they don't need to be difficult at all, right? Like, eat once a day. I can't even say this anymore. Eat once a day. Eat mostly meat with a little carbs, I guess is what I should say now. And go work out. Like, you don't need to know all this. Like, notice I didn't say eat a lot of fat, okay? Notice I didn't say don't eat carbs at all, right? Notice I didn't say go get a blood test every 6 months to make sure you're not going to die. No, you don't need any of that, okay? It's literally just those three things. Right.
High animal fat diets cause insulin resistance, so it makes sense. He avoids carbohydrate-rich foods to keep his blood sugar down, but the high-fat foods keep the sugar in the blood longer, so it ends up being much worse doing it the high-fat way. It's not working, Jimmy. Another thing that stands out to me is his creatinine levels. Even though they aren't flagged...
I'm sorry, this is so boring. You know what I don't like about this? It's like he hasn't addressed, or maybe he has, like the main issue, which is that, like, Jimmy, you look like shit, bro. Fucking sorry, dog. It's not working for you. Like, you look like absolute shit. Like, why would anybody take your advice about anything related to health when you're fucking 230 pounds and you just look like some like random guy they like pulled off the street and like gave him a teleprompter to read shit about keto. You know what I mean? Like, who's gonna take advice from that guy? Like, who would actually give this guy any money for health advice? Like, seriously, like, it's kind of crazy how people will believe some like fat guy who's not even like in good shape, like not even a little bit, because he lost, because he's not super fat. You know, he went from like in danger of dying in the next couple of years to like just being like your average amount of like fat and out of shape, does no exercise. Like, wow, he only looks a little bit like shit now. Oh, does he have a book? Did they take credit card? And they'll like look at all this retarded shit. Like, what is this? I don't know.
Is out of range. From what I learned from Dr. Morse is you don't want to see your creatinine levels rise up past 0.6. Your kidneys should filter excess creatinine out of the body. When your levels start to rise, that shows your kidneys are breaking down. They're no longer able to filter this substance out of your blood. Your kidneys are...
I'm so sorry I'm stopping this so much, but like, and I know this is an old video. I know he's learned a bit. Like, he's learned a lot since then. He doesn't like really still believe this stuff. I don't think there's any problem with creatinine. I take fucking creatine every day. My kidneys are fine. You know, like I take 5 grams of creatine every day. Do you understand like how much creatinine that like artificially jacks up your creatinine levels like way higher than like the normal range? But I don't have any problems, right? It's just because like all these like modern guidelines from like the medical community, they're like just basically all of these guidelines are designed to give to doctors so that they don't get sued. Right? It's like, tell them that if they're in this range to this range, that they're fine. Okay. If they're out of that range, then you have like the justification to like do a procedure or prescribe medicine, and you'll be justified because maybe like across the board, some people who have levels that are a little bit outside of the range might have a problem, right? They don't like, I mean, of course you have some good doctors. I'm not saying all doctors are bad, but like a lot of doctors, they just don't fucking care about their patients. And they just want to prescribe something to not get sued. Also, your kidneys are extremely resilient, and if you're that worried about your kidneys like not, you know, working properly because you have too much creatinine because you ate a bunch of meat, drink some fucking water. Like, hello, do you God, it's too early for me. I need coffee.
They're the main exit point for toxins to leave the body, so this is a highly paid attention to number in the detox world. 0.7 is scary. In 0.8, you're losing your kidneys at that point. 0.9, and you've pretty much lost your kidney's ability to filter your lymphatic waste out of the body. His numbers are just getting worse and worse. If he continues on this path, he's going to lose his kidneys entirely. I mean, this is bad news. Just as a comparison, Freely, the banana girl, posted her numbers once, and they were like 0.55 or something. Very healthy kidneys, and that's why she's able to thrive so well on her diet. I mean, she eats mainly fruits and vegetables with some starches at night, very low fat, vegan. It's all healthy. That's the diet that heals your kidneys. Animal products break them down. His sodium and potassium are high. His anion gap is high. That basically means that Jimmy Moore ain't got no thigh gap. I'm sorry, Jimmy. One day, my friend. His protein is low, which is pretty crazy. I thought we all needed animal protein to be buff. It looks like he's actually burning a lot of his muscle just to make sugar. The problem with that, instead of eating a mango to get sugar, eating a steak and turning it into sugar, there's a lot of toxic byproducts from that process that really injure your kidneys. So that's one of the reasons Jimmy's kidneys are not doing well. His cholesterol is insanely high. When you eat so much meat, your body's just inundated with acids, and your body uses cholesterol to fight these acids and lower inflammation. That's why high meat diets raise your cholesterol and plant-based diets lower it. I mean, meat causes inflammation, fruits and vegetables cool it down. I have no idea what any of that means, except for the high levels of lactate, which indicate that he has begun lactating from all the dairy products he ingests. He now produces small amounts of milk in his urine and will soon be able to nurse abandoned baby cows back to health. Again, no idea what these mean, just a couple numbers are out of the healthy range. Keep on peeing, Jimmy Moore. You pee well, my friend. I can't say the same about your poo, though. There appears to be abundant levels of E. coli. When your diet is like 95% beef, you have to expect some E. coli.
Okay, so I know the point of this video is to like look at his blood test results. That's like the point, right? It's not like 11 years on ketogenic diet, Jimmy Moore is fat and looks like shit. That's not what this video is. It's like Jimmy Moore has bad blood test results. Like his like the fortune that he received from the fortune teller like spells doom for him. So I understand that's the point of this video, but it's like, okay, fine, not exactly the same, but it's honestly like you know, Jimmy Moore was on the ketogenic diet for 11 years, and I read his horoscope today, and his horoscope said that bad things will happen to him soon. That's how I think of this. Just because it's not that it's meaningless, but like you literally just like look at the person, and I honestly I don't need to put Jimmy Moore through like any sort of athletic test to know that the guy fucking has probably not like gone for a jog in years, if at all, ever in his life. So all of this stuff, like, if you, so why do I recommend meat and OMAD, right? Do you think I like went online and like found some studies that said like OMAD is good, and I like Googled like, is meat good for you? And I like found a video by somebody about who only eats meat, and like they just like have this great, like all these health benefits, like their numbers are so perfect. No, not at all. Okay, I have experimented with and tested many different types of food combinations, let's call them, and let's call it an eating protocol if we want to get fancy. And currently, at this stage in my development, you know, because we learn and grow over time, and you know, for the goals that I have, which are essentially being lean and having lots of energy throughout the day and having lots of energy for my workouts, the most efficient way for me to do that, which requires the least amount of thinking and micromanaging possible, is eat once a day, eat mostly meat with a little carbs, and go work out. That's it. That's and I've tried fucking eating pasta, like stuffing myself on pasta. I've tried fucking eating vegetables all the time. I've tried fucking oatmeal. I've tried fucking yogurt. I've tried like all this shit, tons of shit. I've tried processed food, obviously. I tried fucking eating fast food all the time. I've tried everything. I've tried it all. Okay. And in my experience, I've narrowed it down to what I consider to be the most efficient strategy for being able to perform well in the gym, having lots of energy throughout the day, and limiting my amount of processed food that I eat by way of satiating myself on high nutrient dense foods, aka meat and eggs with a little bit of carbs. So like all this stuff, like, oh my God, you have bacteria in your poop. Oh no, like, dog, we don't need to know he has bacteria in his poop. Look at the fucking guy. Like, he's like, you look up dad bod in the fucking dictionary, the guy is like the definition of dad bod. Not even, he's like worse than dad bod. He's like grandpa bod. You know what I mean?
Plant-based diets don't have to worry about this. Whenever you hear about an E. coli outbreak in spinach or almonds, it's always from the beef runoff, the waste coming from the factory farmed cows nearby. Spinach doesn't produce E. coli. That comes from cow shit. When cows are slaughtered, they're gutted, and often the bowel contents spill out into the meat. You can't separate it, even if you wanted to. That's why so many chemicals are used in ground meat to kill as much of that bacteria as they can. It's almost too disgusting to even think about, but that's the reality. If you want to eat meat, you're eating shit. For someone that eats so much red meat, his iron is really low. I guess that just goes to show you that eating red meat is not going to solve your low iron issues. Better off with plant iron from green leafy vegetables. Meat iron your body can't get rid of, you store it, you oxidize your body, it's terrible. Low vitamin D, I'm surprised. Jimmy's known to take over like 10,000 IUs of D3 a day. It's not working, bud. Low testosterone. I mean, all you ever hear is meat eaters saying, you weak vegans, you got no testosterone, you gotta eat cow testicles. Well, Jimmy's got low testosterone. He has weak adrenals. I mean, your adrenals produce testosterone. Plants help regenerate your glands. That's why vegans actually end up having higher testosterone than meat eaters. It's ironic but true. So I just wanted to go over some of the alarm bells that I saw in his blood tests. I mean, a ketogenic diet does not look healthy to me long term. It's pretty obvious just looking at what the diet is. It's entirely animal based, almost, with bits of leafy greens. It's devoid of anything good and full of everything bad. What do you expect to happen? So in my opinion, you want to get on the plant-based diets. Fill your body with plants. No matter how you choose to do it, get the plants in. Go raw vegan, go cooked vegan, go anything vegan. I'm sorry, Jimmy. I'm sorry I had to use you as an example like this, but if you're going to promote a diet...
Come on. Look at this guy. It's like, you're using this guy as an example. Okay, all right, what about me? Why don't you use me as an example, you know? Obviously it's an old video, blah blah blah, but like at the end of the day, like, forget what I say, forget what anybody says, like forget about all the videos that you watch, okay? Like, don't listen to me, don't listen to anybody, just go try it. You know, you want to try being vegan to see if it'll like make you feel better, make you look better, help your performance. Try it. You know, I don't know everything, like this guy doesn't know everything. Try it. You know, okay, so, you know, why don't I like want to go through all the steps to like actually because I've never really tried like a super vegan diet like an athlete would do, right? Which in my opinion is like essentially you have to eat lots of legumes, and I think like maybe supplement with protein powder. But let's say you don't. Let's say legumes, basically like lots of beans and you know, I guess oats and corn and shit like that, or really just, you know, oats and grains, whatever. and beans is kind of what you need. Like, you can't do it on fucking fruits and vegetables. You just can't. I'm sorry. If you want to train hard, it's impossible. So that's what I would have to do. I haven't ever really done that, like seriously tried it, because I number one, I honestly don't think it'll work. That's number one. Number two, it's more expensive. It's much cheaper to just buy like meat and eat that. And number three, it's so much more inefficient. Like, I don't want to fucking go buy like all these different foods to like piece together my like perfect combination of plant-based nutrients when I can literally just eat meat and a little bit of carbs and get everything I need without having to worry about all this extra shit. So yeah, more expensive, more inconvenient, and I don't even think it'll work better. You know what I mean? And if it actually does, it will require a lot of testing for me to find like the perfect combination to get to that point. Okay. What else we got?
That's entirely animal-based. You're killing animals left, right, and center. I have to call you out on it when you're posting blood tests and they look terrible. Basing your diet on animal products is not healthy long-term. You might lose some weight in the beginning, but it's not all about weight loss. You want to be healthy. You want to regenerate all your organs and glands. Animals aren't going to do that for you. So eat those plants, my friend.
Okay, so obviously an old video. Seems to have come to his senses since then, even though I think he might be vegan. Okay. Yeah, all right. So bottom line, at the end of the day, like I said, don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody you see on the internet. Like, take a concept and go try it, right? If it works for you, if there's somehow somebody, like, honestly, maybe some people feel better eating beans and fucking oats all the time instead of meat. Yeah, okay, so fucking do that. I don't think that would work for me, right? Because I place very high demands on myself, and I mean, oatmeal I guess is good. Like, I love oatmeal, and beans I think are amazing, but I just don't think compared to meat that it's enough, right? Especially when we mix, you know, things like liver in there, which is like fucking superfood of superfoods. Okay, so thank you. Who is this? Angelo? Angelo, thank you, Angelo, for the video. If you guys have any other recommendations for videos or YouTubers, let me know. Peace.